All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
Uh, check that video. Make sure everything run real quick before we get started.
You're testing. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, should we testing?
You hear that?
You're testing. Yeah.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We the GMS New Orleans Saints here to bring you a live lesson. Prior to get started, we're going to give infinite honest prayers unto
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem Kabadash.
double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You Akim, you Akwat, which you brothers and sisters in the Hebrew, I believe. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, and for the beginning of this lesson, we're gonna start on the topic of the MOTB, okay, which is something very, very important, in the scriptures that you brothers, you faithful brothers and sisters need to be looking out for, all right, and constantly watching, okay, because we understand that basically, if you take this mark of the beast, MOTB, which is the microchip, all right, that they're going to push out very soon. You basically pledge your allegiance into Esau Edom, all right, and becoming an enemy against our power. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, okay, but it's going to come in a way, to massage, into the world pretty much, for something that is going to make life easier. Okay, it's going to make everything okay, and it's going to make everybody a better person. Once they take this thing, okay, and they're going to show you it throughout the movies and different type of Netflix shows. For one, I'm watching something called Fallout, and they're introducing the chip on there right now. All right, and it's basically the way that they put it on the show is for the bad people. All right. If you were a murderer, if you were a thief, if you were this or this and that type of person that happened to be evil in the community, once you take this C hip, basically they get your mind together and you're in one way in order, pretty much with the system that's going around in the world. Okay. But again, when you take this, which we telling you, do not take that chip. Okay, that's going to pledge your allegiance to Esau Edom and not our power. But brother could kick me off that Revelation 13 so we can see, so we can explain what the chip is.
This is Revelation 13, verse 16. And it says, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their forehead. And
Oh no, go ahead.
okay. And it says, and that no man buy or sell, save he that have the mark.
So in your right hand or your forehead, okay. So it tells you that no man will be able to buy nor sell, which points towards this microchip, that Esau Edom is planning. All right, the brothers can also get the what is that the mischievous device? Is that in Proverbs?
No, Psalms.
In Psalms?
Yeah.
I know it's one of those. But yeah, Mona.
Yeah. And it says, or the name, I'm gonna read it again. It says that no man buy or sell save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636.
All right, but again, furthermore, pushing, of explaining what that MOTB is. Okay, the mark of the beast. All right, they have these other camps that's going to downplay this and downplay the seriousness of it. Which the Lord is telling you here. This is a very, very serious battle. Okay.
I just want to say something. Majority of the other camps say it's sin. How can it be sin? We all sin.
Right.
And the point is to repent from sinning in general.
Uh-huh.
That means everyone has the mark,
Right.
which means everyone's going to get destroyed.
Right.
So that doesn't make sense.
Matter of fact, y'all got that word in the Greek.
Gotcha.
There go. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Charagma, and it's G5480, and it says a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the follower of anti-Hamashiach.
Anti-Hamashiach, that's pretty much, again, what, Jake already, spoke of your allegiance, pretty much. All right. So you're anti-Hamashiach, you're against, the ways of Yahweh Shema Shah. All right. But you're acknowledging Esau Edom to be your leader, to be your father, you know.
It says a scratch or an etch,
Uh.
i.e., a stamp. It says a badge of servitude.
Mhm. A badge of servitude. Again, you got your precept.
Yeah, this Galatians 6:17. It says, henceforth let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the law, Yahweh Shai. When you go into that word marks in the blue letter, it's G 4742. And it's the outline of biblical usage. It says a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name of the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. But the point is, it says slaves and soldiers bore the name of the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to. All right, and we know Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, that's who our master is. All right, so when you go to receive the MOTB, all right, you basically pledge allegiance to Esau being your new master. All right, well, betraying Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. What you gotta do?
Yeah, then I want to say it's too like showing that it's physical, as that brother got in that Greek charagma,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's how about imprinting mark. We imprint something, need something physical to imprint something, to engrave. So to show you right there, that is something physical, man. It's not something spiritual, as these other camps say, you know. And then another example is y'all brother get I think it's in Exodus 21. How like that all? Yeah, go get that.
You got
I
it.
got that Isaiah 36.
Yeah, you go, yeah.
Say so?
No.
You got it.
Con, this is the book of Exodus 21, starting at verse 5. And the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children. I would not go free. Verse 6, and here's the point. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost. And his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever.
So it's part of our customs that, if you were, serving another man, if you happen to be in debt or so on and so forth, and you and pretty much if you decided that you wanted to stay with that person, then you would receive a mark to show, who do you work for, who you belong to,
Yeah. Show his ownership.
You can show it. Yeah, it shows the ownership.
There's an example, man. Oh,
Kind of.
let me go.
This is the word all in the blue letter, strong H, 4836. Masa'ah, all a boring instrument.
Done. Warring instrument. With the brother, pretty much showing the picture of.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could say, because I was holding that, right? But if you go up a little bit, it tells you about the only reason why they would do that is because they want to keep the things in which they earned while serving their master. Okay, which that's what's gonna happen with our people. They're gonna want to continue with the way of the world.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, you're gonna have to take that chip, man.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make that point, Scott.
And then like we look at the picture, man, what it look like? It's a needle. Was they gonna use that to insert the P with the MOTB, man? Which matter of fact, they got more in that word too. And
That's what I was saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mistake. Yeah.
You got Isaiah.
Yeah.
go ahead.
All right, the book of Isaiah, book of Isaiah chapter 36, verse 6. Right? And it says, Lo, thou trusteth in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. And that broken reed, is symbolic of that tool that they're gonna use to insert.
And many of our people, man, they're gonna fall victim to it because you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans still look into Esau Edom, for help, even though that is our, basically our sworn enemy, man. From the womb, when Esau and Jacob was born, pretty much it was constant, fighting in the belly, But again, our people still look going back to this goddamn devil, for help, and that's going to be the end of you, Yeah, more of that.
That was
Get that word from me. Yeah.
This
I
like
had some more for that word. He probably bring it up. He might bring it up.
this just going into Karak's after Karak,
Yes.
and it says a pail or a stake, a palisade, which is
I was about to say that's another one of the root words for it, right?
Mm. It says a pail or stake, a palisade, and then in the strong definition it says to sharpen to a point.
It's a cutting instrument.
Yeah.
Pierce through.
Yeah, the prayer too.
Again, furthermore showing that it's something physical. All right. So you can't listen to these, you have to have the discernment, to read these scriptures and see that, okay, it's something going to be in your right hand or your forehead. All right. It's something sharp. All right. It's going to contain if you can buy or sell. All right. These are all physical things.
Yeah, let's go ahead print. We're going to print means the card, man. The fit. Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to get a picture of how it looked. Make it out. But this the word grapho, and it's it says to write with reference to form of letter. It says to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down record.
Yeah, if I could add to that graphic, it's also talking about like the data, information, like your geolocation, all that type, wherever you at in the world. You want to say something?
Yeah, also, like your personal information, man.
Yeah.
Like all like your social security.
Yeah.
Like instead of like using like a card, everything's gonna be on the MOTB, man. On the chip.
Medical information. everything.
Go ahead.
The back you it's like the transmit, be transmitting things at all the time.
Mhm.
You will be located on the whatever they have the grids, yeah, the geolocation. You will be pointed out at all times. He right here, he did this, he did that. This is part of total control. This is what the brother going to. Total control.
Well, that's gonna make it easier for them
Yeah.
to use, cause they doing it now, man, with these credit cards.
Yeah.
So everything's gonna be on the chip to where they ain't gotta pull out information. It's gonna be everything's gonna be on them, man.
And the way they're gonna do it, I'm saying, they're gonna make it sound like it's convenient, how things going on, like how these things they gonna cause problems in society. They're gonna say, look, instead of just carrying this, card or this information and all that, in your back pocket or whatever, you can have it in the palm of your hand, right there ready to go, so it can be more convenient, for you to maneuver in this society.
I'm gonna say too real quick. They already got it in Switzerland. If y'all brothers, they already got it. I believe Switzerland, right? They already got
Australia.
yeah, the MOTBs are already implemented down there. No convenience. You know what I'm saying? They got documented about convenience, but they got it, swiping there, doing everything's convenient to them. They down with it. That's coming to America.
So we get many examples, around the country. I'm not around the country, around the world of these different countries, that have already implemented some way, somehow in that system. All right. We see it in small places like the Whole Foods that they tell you that you can swipe your hand. Not only, if you want to tap your phone or you can tap your credit card, but you can actually place your hand if you already, jump ahead of the curve to get this MOTB.
It's like out here, Sweden. Sweden was in Sweden.
Yeah, they got Sweden, and then also you can't forget about China, who already implemented the social credit system.
Yeah.
All right, and pretty much if you're a asshole type of person is going to make your social credit go down. If you're some type of a breaker of the law or anything in that manner, you know, you're going to be monitored and won't be, you know, let into certain places or be able to do certain things if you're not 100%, you know, compliant with the system. All right. Yo, you want to say something?
Yeah, sure. The brother on the comment board, where are you? Was a Sean, Mike. Y'all about to come out. Yeah, the brother comment. He said, "You will own nothing and be happy."
Yeah.
Is a phrase derived from a 2016 WEF prediction outlining a future where products or assets service rather than individual ownership. Man, was it? It's prediction of 2030. Man, was a law what man? You know, shit, wait for that, man. You know.
Right, because this devil's plan is basically to just starve the people out. One of the brothers had a dream about how everybody was getting the MOTP, but they were so happy to get it.
Mhm.
It was, you know, it was ecstatic. It was like, I believe the brother said it was like when the iPhone came out. When the iPhone came out, everybody had to get it. It was the thing to get, you know. So that's how this devil's gonna come. He's gonna come with a whole new world, so to speak, right? You know what I'm saying? And doing so-called miracles, okay? You know, to the people, you know. But you got it.
You got that from me? Rick? I got it. Get you.
This this is First Peter 5:8, and it says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walking about seeking whom he may devour."
Con. Yeah, as a roaring lion, you know, seeking to who you may devour. Okay, so if you're not vigilant, you know, to what's going on around you, all right, this damn devil is gonna snipe you, man. All right, you're going to get caught. All right, you're going to get caught just because you wasn't paying attention unto the times that we're in. All right, you're thinking that we're still in the time of partying and bullshitting, and that's not the case, man. This is the time to be getting as close to Yahweh Shem Yahushua as possible. All right. Let the brother get his precept.
I got a quick precept. It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 28. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. And that's plain, like, don't take it. Like the Lord said, don't put nothing in you. Don't touch your body with nothing foreign. No marks, no cuttings, nothing in your flesh.
Yeah, tell you that's going off, man.
Con.
You know, because that's what they go do to put the MOTB in you, man. They go cut you, man,
Right.
inside your skin.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's crazy that, you know, a lot of jakes that I've known, and I'm definitely one of them, you know, we all somehow got that fear of those sharp instruments by default. I've never liked getting shots as a child or anything like that, having blood taken or anything like that. So that's always been a fear, you know, in my mind. And, you know, from what I'm seeing right now, I'm speaking for a lot of you brothers, you know, but that's just some natural, you know, things that, you know, Jake been following the law without, you know, without even knowing it. You know, it's just some natural things that really just don't like that shit. You know? But got some? I got some.
Yeah, that's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices."
Got it.
But that's just backing up your point, right? Or what you're saying, how we have to be, we know what this devil is doing. We're paying attention, we're watching. Okay, at least we fall. But you got it.
Brother, get the other one the Psalms.
I got it.
You got it? Let's get that one back that up.
Yeah, let's get straight to the point, bro.
This is Psalms 21 and verse 11. It says, "For they intended evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device, which they are not able to perform."
They're not going to be able to perform it, all right, for the elect's sake, man. All right. The Lord is not going to allow, you know, these damn devils to basically take his sheep. Okay. It's appointed that the even said, roughly paraphrasing, that he knows the sheep and you can't pluck them out of his hand.
Yeah.
Roughly paraphrasing, you know, brothers want to grab it, pick that up and grab it, you know, to bring it out. But again, it's this mischievous device, this MOTB, you know, is not going to be given until, you know, the hopefully, like, you know, you believers, you know, the men that are working, you know, to get as close as Yahweh, to close to Yahweh Shema Shah as possible. You know, get the revelation.
This is Revelation 12 and verse 12, and it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time."
He knows that he has but a short time. All right. So again, at some point in time, we already know that we went through this test run, you know, with the C-19. All right, seeing how everything was operating, you know, how everything was shut down. If you wanted to go outside and have some type of life, you know, you had to take the C-19. All right. So you're seeing the resistance of it, and basically, you know, we know this damn devil is a person of analytics. All right. So he got the numbers. He knows exactly what and what not to do, you know, to pretty much get most of the world, you know, to fall under subjection under his ways. All right. But again, he said that he knows that he has a short time. So he's gonna work extremely hard and, you know, quickly, you know, because the Lord is coming back soon to shut that plan up, you know, that this devil has, you know.
I got that John for you. Keep it my voice.
Yeah.
This is John 10 and verse 27. It says, "My sheep hear my voice, I know them,
Mhm.
and they follow me.
Yep.
And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand." It's
Oh, let me speak on that real quick. Neither shall any man pluck them out of his hand. All right. So the Lord, again, he knows his sheep. All right. He knows, you know, who his elect is. All right. And nothing will come close to his elect. Okay. Then they have the other one in Jeremiah. Oh, is that Jeremiah? It talks about scarcely be saved.
Not First Peter.
That's First Peter's.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the JT scripture, Jeremiah 30.
Yeah.
But it's like continue on.
kind of one more verse. It says, "My Father which gave them me is greater than all,
Mhm.
and no man is able to pluck them out of my hand, out of my Father's hand."
Yeah, it's basically off limits, man. The elect is off limits. All right. And you know, Satan, you know, this damn devil, Esau Edom, you know, pretty much, you know, he's eyeing the elect. All right. That's the whole purpose of him, you know, even doing this. The rest of these guys are small fish, man. You know, it don't really have no purpose to them. But to try to interrupt the Lord's plan is what this damn devil thinks that he's going to be able to do, which we know is not going to happen, you know. Get him. Oh, man. Yeah. You gotta know it.
Kind. Yeah, this is the back of the precept you just brought out as a kind. This Revelation 14 and 4. It says, "These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb." Yeah, so that's talking about the elect, you know, the sheep that's gonna follow Yahweh Shai wherever he go, right? Not being it says not which were not the following women through these doctrines and philosophies, and ultimately, you know, oh yeah, Salaki. And it says, "For they are virgins," right? And when you think about it, the elect are not going to get the MOTB, right? They're not going to be physically penetrated by Esau Edom, you know, with the MOTB, right? So that's how we're going to remain physical, like spiritual virgins to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, right?
So matter of fact, jump down to 9, man. So you
Verse 9?
yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at 9 too. Verse 9, it says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb."
Yeah. So basically, man, you signing yourself up for the missiles, man. All right, for the destruction that's coming to America. You know, you're gonna have a missile with your name written on it. All right, if you decide to be overtaken, you know, by these philosophies. All right, by this damn devil and his ways. All right, it's a clear no. You know, you're not supposed to deal with your enemy in this type of way, man. All right. If your enemy is going to be destroyed, you want to go get destroyed with your enemy, or do you want to go to your side, to your power, and be saved? Like it's common sense. It should be common sense at some point, but a lot of our people they're still just stuck in the ways. They're still drunk off this Babylon juice, man. Still thinking that it's a way to make it out of this thing. It's a way to have that generational wealth, to continue to improve. Since 2020, since that C19, it's been a gradually downfall of everything in America, you know, of even, just us just wanting to get the hell out of here even more, you know.
I got a precept back here.
Come,
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 27, verse 1. It says, many have sinned for a small matter,
yep.
and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away. Verse 2.
Stop. Let me get that part. Read one more time.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 27, verse 1. Many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away.
So for a small matter, and for him that seeking abundance, read that last part again. Seek abundance.
It says, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away.
He will turn his eyes away. Okay, so Jake, who's still chasing that bag, man, who still wants to be what Jake want to be nowadays, a streamer, or still want to make it to the league, still want to have some type of worldly, riches, they're gonna turn their eyes away, from this seat here. They're gonna take the seat here, in order to maintain these things, in better words. Keep going.
This is the book of Sirach, 27, verse 2. As a nail sticketh fast between the joining of the stones, so do sin stay close between buying and selling.
Again, putting the microscope back on the seat hip. This is what the seat hip involves, man. Buying and selling. All right. And a lot of people, not to sound like a broken record, they're gonna continue to want this life, man. This life that they've been pitched from Esau Edom, that the white picket fence with the big house. Got a mouthful here, brother. God damn. That was definitely big as a motherfucker. Like
You heard him hit that.
But it said in that verse 2, it said, as a nail stick it fast between the joint on the stones was Eve. They use like the pills, the pills. So it's the same thing, like as they go use that needle, man, for the chip. So it's just it all towards to that, man.
Let's go back in the first verse. And many have sinned for a small matter. Many Israelites will sin for that small matter. So like you said, to get back to society, have normalcy of life, to get, to feel better. You know what I'm saying? Like you said something about being excited. People be excited to take it.
Yeah.
People be excited to come out. Damn, I can finally, get food, get breasts, go to the mall, do all type of dumb shit they do, but nothing ain't going normal. This is a digital prison that's what to come into play. Says I.
Yeah, but it, like you said, it does say many have sinned for a small matter, right? So Jake do these things for little to nothing now, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so when these people do come down and say, I'm gonna give you this if you take it. They get to throwing any little thing, bro. These people gonna go. They gonna run to it just to have that comfortability. Like the brother's been saying. You got it.
I got a quick. You could you got
All right, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. And that's just another precept backing up, what had happened to people that subscribing to that. Like the brother brought out in that Revelations 14 and 9.
You could bring up that James.
This is the book of James, chapter 4 and verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that friendship of the world is enmity with Yahweh? Question mark.
Hebrews 11.
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Gone. So if you're a friend of this world, if you're down pretty much with this world, man, you're an enemy of Yahweh Shemel Shah. All right. The Lord tell you, man, if you're not with him, you're against him. All right. So you're going to choose your side. And you have to choose a side. It's no straddling the fence, you know. No, I don't want to be in this, you know, how Jacob be like, hey, y'all do what y'all want to do. I'm just gonna stand outside this matter. You know, no, you have to pick a side.
My
All right.
nigga Bennett, I ain't did it.
Right. You know, they got some men who think that by ignoring this that they can escape it.
I
You know?
got you one real quick to back up what you're saying.
You got
It's Matthew 6:24. It says, "No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve the Most High and man."
you know, and that mammon, you know, pretty much going into money, you know, that's the god of many people, you know, in this world. All right. But again, furthermore, backing up the point, you know, what does that money lead to? That money usually leads to a better life, you know. So they're pretty much settling, you know, here in America, you know, and continuing to try to settle here in America, which the Lord is going to destroy this, you know. And you know, brothers will always say it, you know, it's basically you're investing into a burning building, you know, it makes no sense. All right. If you have a kingdom getting built, you know, for you, that's going to be built for you, you know, and you want to hold on to, you know, something that's not even yours, well, you're a goddamn slave, you know, is stupid, you know. Get this Hebrews 11 from me real quick.
This is Hebrews 11 and verse 24. And he says, by faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High than to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season.
You know, so we have Moses as an example, all right, who was, you know, pretty much who was the adopted son of Pharaoh, you know, and you know, he could have been living as a prince, you know, of a goddamn Pharaoh of Egypt. All right, but you know, Moses knew, you know, where he wanted to stand. He wanted to stand with his people. So he'd rather suffer affliction rather than, you know, deal with, you know, that sort of kind of life, you know, for the better, you know. What it say? Should be one more verse.
But in that verse, it said for a season though. So he knew that wasn't even gonna be. It was gonna be for that time.
26.
Yeah,
What you got?
this is verse 6 in Hebrews 11, 26, and it says, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasure in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward.
So we getting better and more riches, you know, by sticking close to Yahweh Shemel Shah than what you can ever get out of this kingdom. All right, this queendom, you know, this hellhole that we're living in, man. All right, you're never gonna make it here, Jake, and you have to accept that in your mind. All right, you're never gonna, you know, reach those 6 figures. Ain't even nothing no more. You know, that's not even a goal. Now is you got to be making a $250,000 and up, you know, to be some type of, you know, ball, you know. But that's they just moving the goalposts and making it more far-fetched to even make it here, you know, which should be easier, you know, for you know, you sincere brothers and sisters to know that if they're going to continue to move this goalpost, it's not really something I should chase after.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a solid, you know, goal or, you know, a reward that's going to come to you that hasn't been moving, that's been stable, and the Lord telling you, hey, do this and that and the third, and listen to me, follow me, do this work, and you're going to receive this. You know, it only makes sense to chase after that solid goal, you know.
Like
Was it something?
basically Esau teaches nothing but confusion. Right? What the Lord teaches is obviously the correct thing. See, back then they had us as slaves, right? During that time period, if you was good at sharecropping, you know, certain mechanical altitude, you know what I'm saying, you had value within society. But once they so-called freed the slaves, right? Now they moved the goalposts. They said, well, you got to go to school, okay? You got to get an education, right? You got to be a high school graduate, okay? And then once Jake started doing that, they moved the post again.
Yep.
They said, well, you gotta go to college, right? You gotta go get a bachelor's degree. Okay. Jake started doing that. They move it again, right? So it's showing you that this devil's not gonna ever play equal, man. You know, with you tribes. You know, he's not for you. Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, I got a free stuff here.
You mentioned a point. It's like it's no, go ahead.
Okay, kind of. I'm gonna do the precept. This is Isaiah 30 and verse 1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that may add sin to sin. Right? So, you know, this is our people, you know, basically, you know, trusting in what? In the doctrines and philosophies of Esau Edom. Okay. And the philosophy is going into what? Basically a set of truths that's believed to be true, right? Okay, so he comes with with everything that's other world. Okay, he comes with Hinduism, science, Scientology. Okay, the list goes on and on and on with this devil, man. It's never ended. With the Lord, it's plain and simple. The Bible, the scriptures. That's all you need. You know. Let me continue on. It says, verse 2, that says that walk to go down to Egypt, down into Egypt, and have not asked of at my mouth. And it says to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. And like I was saying, that's what our people are doing, man. They strengthen themselves in the Pharaoh, okay, the ways of the world, right? It's because the world is comfortable, right? The truth is uncomfortable, right? And Jake wants to stick to what is comfortable, okay? You know, because the truth exposes all your evil and wicked deeds. It causes you to change. No, they don't want to change, right? The brother said they want to be complacent, okay?
Yeah. If I can back you up, you know, and that just shows the lack of faith that's in the world, you know, which the Lord has ordained it to be this way. All right. The Lord is not trying to save everybody. All right. So the fact that they don't have that faith to believe in, you know, something that they can't see. They don't have that power. The spirit has been given to them to see the rewards that's going to be given, the kingdom that's going to come. You know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in these new bodies, you know, that was like the hopefully like first and foremost into these new bodies, you know, for working for the Lord. They don't see what the actual reward is going to be.
I got some fire for y'all. I got you got one.
Bring it out. One more.
Gotcha. Come on, man.
All right, this is verse 3, and it says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And that's what you see from the people. No one has answers, right? Esau's he has his little you know, people gather around at the table. They call them think tanks. You know, they're thinking of new ways to basically deceive the people, right? But the people aren't falling for it. Okay, you know, but no one has the answers, man. Only Yahweh Bashim Al Shah has the answers in the scriptures, man.
John,
You got it up.
You was in Isaiah 30, right?
Yeah, 30.
Jump to 31.
I was
I'm holding.
You got, I know. Get your precept quick. Because that goes into what he was.
Yeah, dude.
Come, you got it.
Isaiah chapter 10. This is about to happen, verse 20. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth.
So who's that smote Israel? So-called Edomites, man. Esau Edom. All right. So again, and it's crazy as hell to even continue to think about that. This is somebody that once had you in bondage, that was graping, you know, grown ass men, you know, all of these other you know, tragic things that was happening throughout slavery, you know, and our people still put him on a pedestal to believe and trust in.
Yeah,
you know, that's definitely still a mindset of a slave. All right.
What you want, Isaiah 31? The one?
Yeah, 1 and 1. And I think it go to 3.
Yeah, there's Isaiah 31, verse 1. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Right? And today is my Babylon, modern day Egypt. It says, and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord Yahweh.
And like the brother was going into earlier, you know, our people are still looking for comfortability. All right. So in order to be comfortable, they're going to lean on what they see is the strongest, you know, power to be on. You know, just like any type of female in the world. If a female sees a powerful man that's getting this money, that's getting all this and that and the third, they're going to gravitate to that way. You know, rather than hearing about, okay, there's somebody coming that's stronger. He's not here yet, but he's going to come. He's going to come. You have to believe he's going to come. They're going to be like, okay, this is taking too long. I see something right here and I want to go after that. All right. And that's going to be the downfall of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
I just want to say real quick, the scriptures say that that when Esau begins to fall, because he's in his kingdom, when he begins to fall, his widows won't even mourn for him. So when he's taken out of power, you know, which goes to show that women gravitates to more power, right? That's what they like. You know what I'm saying? So when he's taken out of power, they're not even gonna mourn for him, man.
They're already doing
You
it
know?
now.
Yeah.
They doing it right now.
Yeah, that was a good point you made, though, Bayan, because that's exactly the case with this love story that we in with the Lord, because Israel is like into a comely and delicate woman, right? And we done been, as a nation of people, leaning on Esau's power, right? From the government assistance and so on and so forth. You want to say something?
Yeah, because we put to come upon a time where all that shit over with. Jobs, everything, interviews. All this finna be done away with. We finna be in jail trouble. All hell to break loose. The election, we finna cast all our faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Because he the only one that could save us all what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? This grid shit, that shit over with, man. It's done. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, just back look. That was part of the reason we went into captivity in the first place. Because we didn't want to depend on the Lord. So he made us depend on our enemy. And our people never broke up out of it. You got it right.
This the book of Galatians, chapter 6, you start at 7. Says, be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the spirit shall of the spirit reap life everlasting. And I'm gonna jump down to 17. From henceforth, let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Yahushua.
Read the first one again.
It said this verse, chapter 6, Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
You know, you should also read the next verse with it.
And it says, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the spirit shall of the spirit reap life everlasting.
So, you know, pretty much looking for any type of longevity here in this hellhole that we in, man. You ain't doing nothing but feeding your flesh. Okay. And that's pretty much plain and simple. Yeah, that's death. You know, that's going to lead to your death. All right. So the more that you want to grow in this society, the harder you're going to fall. You know, when the Lord comes back and destroy this place. All right. And what is giving you another example that, okay, on the other side of the spectrum, if you reap the things of the spirit, you're gonna
Have life everlasting.
y'all say it the right way. Read it.
Yeah. It says, but he that soweth to the spirit shall of the spirit reap life everlasting.
Should reap life everlasting. I had it backwards. But again, you know, that's where your mind should be at. Okay. To reap the spiritual things, you know, doing the work, being brotherly. You know, the Lord has not put out a grievous, you know, task for us. You know, these are all simple things that, you know, through the spirit, having the spirit is pretty much most of the thing, maintaining the spirit. So once you maintain the spirit, everything else is going to flow because you have to flow with the spirit. That means you're walking with Yahweh Shah, you know, to do all the things that is pleasing unto him, you know.
If I could make a point,
Yeah.
in verse 17, it says, from henceforth, let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Yahushua. And, you know, we were speaking of that mark, that charagma earlier. But this, you know, the mark, we carry the mark of the Lord. So we ain't by no way, shape, or fashion even thinking about no other mark that's going to keep us here tied to this society.
Wasn't that one, was that stigma?
Yeah, stigma. Yeah, stigma.
That was 7 he was in?
That was
No, 17.
6
Verse
17.
That was
Chapter 6, verse 17.
Yeah, 6, 17.
Oh, that's when I had brought out.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Oh,
I know
No.
you.
Yeah.
Get that. You still got the author confusion?
That 1 Corinthians 14.
14 and 30.
Yeah, kind of, I gotta read it for you.
Yeah. You got it.
This is 1 Corinthians 14 and 33. For Yahweh is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints.
You know, the point is, you know, Yahweh Shai is not an author of confusion. All right. So the path that you're walking on, you know, is straight and narrow. All right. Yeah, is obstacles, you know, that you have to get through, you know, dealing with, you know, the flesh and dealing with things in the world. But the end goal is still the end goal with the Lord. You know, that's going back to the point of that goalpost moving. The Lord is never going to move that goalpost, man. All right. He's giving you direct directions of what to do, how you need to operate, and do it. You know, that's your job. And then you're going to receive that, you know, which is our kingdom. You know, your crown in our kingdom is behind that penny that the Lord has promised you. You know, you just have to do the work, you know. But now you said you had something, right? You can bring it out, brother, whatever it is.
Jay, Greg, you got shit.
Just bring it out, bro.
Kind of talking about the point of like keeping ourselves out of this place, like not being held like Babylon, having that hold us back. Like with these
Bring it on.
possessions that we got. All right. I'm just trying to but this is Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. Where the Yahushua lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, or thieves break through and steal. Verse 20, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Verse 21, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
You speak up.
Yeah, God, I was just bringing it out to make a point. Like, you know, if we have our mind set upon heavenly things in the kingdom of heaven, you know, these people they have all these temporal things holding them back. But if they was not be focused upon the spirit, you know, they wouldn't take the MOTB. But that's why we're not gonna take that, because we have our mindset on a whole different kingdom.
Kind of read that last part again. Or where your mind, where your heart is.
Verse this is Matthew 6, verse 21. For where your treasure is, there where your heart
You know
be
what?
also.
Again, you know, furthermore, backing up brother, laying back and you know what he said, you know. So if you're setting your treasures, you know, into heaven, you know, which is our heaven, heaven is a condition, first and foremost. All right. Once we're back in the authority, you know, serving under our power, serving under Yahweh by Shem Shai, right? It says where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be also. Okay. Or did I say that right way?
Yeah, where your treasure is.
Yeah. Where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be also, you know, and your heart going into your la'ab, your mind. All right. So you have to keep your mind on, again, what the brother brought out in the Galatians, keep your mind on the spiritual things, you know?
Yeah, we're going to where treasure, it basically means like value. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's why people value the things, these worldly things.
Mhm.
That's why they gonna take the MOTB, because they value these things. They hold it dear. See with us, hey man, we forsook that. You know what I'm saying? So that's like even our life, in a sense, because we might have to die for not taking the MOTB. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but yet we gonna take it because our mindset is on the heavens, man. You know?
We ain't gonna see. I have one.
You got it.
Yeah, this is back up the point you said, Cabal, because you know those treasures. That's the things you know that we hold valuable. But this the Colossians chapter 3. It's 3 and 2. It says, "Set your affection on things above, not on things on earth." And that's what our treasures are, right? Our treasures is set, you know, in the heavens. Our desire, you know, is the what it said Philippians, the prize or the mark of the high calling of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach.
Yeah.
Right? That's what our affection is on, right? So that's gonna lead to us not getting the MOTB, even if it costs us our lives. Because the scripture said what? I think what it is in Matthew 19, right? Where it talk about where Yahweh Shai, those who have forsaken these lives, right? So we gonna love our lives less, you know, in order just going parallel with the whole idea of setting our affections on the things, you know, in heaven. But you got it.
Yeah, I always, you know, like to put it this way, but just the way that you explained it, man, Jake always been looking for that purpose. You know, we all had some type of goals or was striving for something to be great at something.
Yeah.
And the Lord literally pointed us in the greatest reward that's ever going to be
Ever.
placed on the planet Earth. You know, that's going to be spoken about forever. All right. So that's how serious you need to take this thing. You know,
Yeah.
but again, you know, just that reward and thinking upon that reward of a once in a lifetime opportunity, again, that should make you strive for the shit even more, you know, harder than ever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's right.
But get that mark for me, and then we're gonna continue back down the line.
This the book of Mark, chapter 8, verse 36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
Gone. And the answer to that is nothing. All right. You're gonna gain the whole entire world, all right, and lose your spirit, lose your crown. Huh?
Yeah, 35.
35? Come.
Read 35. I'm gonna read from 35 down. It says, this is the book of Mark, chapter 8, verse 35.
Mhm.
For whosoever will save his life
Yeah.
shall lose it. But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it.
You can stop right there. So, you know, you should say this. You know, if you want to lose your life for Yahweh Bashim Shai, that's how you gain life. All right, that's how this equation goes. But if you lose your life trying to read it one more time.
For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it.
So yeah, if you're looking for a way to try to gain and maintain in this world, you're gonna lose your life, man. You know, plain and simple. All right, is no ending to this place, man. All right, meaning with the end goals of glory. You know, to explain that a little bit better. You know, there's nothing glorious that's gonna come at the end of this kingdom being here if this thing was to continue to go on forever. You know, the best thing that can happen to this place is to be destroyed for Israel to be back on top. You know, you want to say something?
Yeah, but to gain those things, but the things you have to do in which to obtain the things on this side is according to going off.
Mhm.
Okay, which we have the laws and the commandments from the Most High in which we are to conduct ourselves, and it's clean contrary to the way of the world. So even to chase those things, you would have to be like you brought out earlier, at enmity with the Most High, man. But you got it.
You keep going.
It says, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels.
Gone. So, you know, pretty much, you know, if Jake's still desiring to be in this world, that's because they have shame in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You know, they don't think none of these things are going to come true. You know, it tells you in I forget it's either First Peter or Second Peter, the one I always bring out. Scoffers coming in the time.
Last days.
In the last days, talking about these things have still been going on since the days of our forefathers. You know, they don't think none of these things are true. And again, they don't trust in the power of Yahweh Shemel Shah. You know, but the Lord is telling you, man, I'm gonna have shame in you, you know, just because you didn't have that faith in me, you know, I'm not gonna ride with you, you know, in that type of manner. You got that? You can bring it on.
This is Galatians 5 and verse 26. Let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another.
But the point is, you know, not being desirous into vainglory, all right, and you know, just vain in general, you know, is nothing that's going to be profitable. All right, that type of glory is not going to last. You know, it's a microwavable glory that you get here in America, man. We're going for everlasting, you know, but they said we're going for the gusto, you know.
I was about to say that that vein going to like emptiness too. So it's no absolutely no value of it.
Yeah, it means void of value.
For the value, yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of, you want to go ahead? You got a piece up? Yeah, I mean, I got. Yeah, it's the back end brothers up. It passed, but I'm gonna still get it though.
Yeah, it's all good.
This Proverbs chapter 11, verse 4. And it reads, riches profit not in the day of wrath, the righteous is delivered from death.
God. Yeah, riches profit not in the day of wrath. All right. So, you know, that money that you've been chasing, you know, all your life, you know, that's not gonna save you when the Lord comes down with these missiles, man. All right. I like to make the joke that the missile's not gonna stop in this place and turn around because you making over 6 figures. You know, just because you think that, you know, which is the mindset for these people. They got people that think that they can buy their way into heaven, that they can buy their way away from the destruction. You know, it's literally people that think that money can buy you everything. You know,
Right. I was gonna say because that was a precept I had. You know, no, you good, you good. I was gonna just say, you know, you're approaching the Lord's offer with an offering, and you can't offer him money.
right?
You know what I'm saying? That's not valuable to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? While on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have the men of the law. They're literally offering their lives to preach the word, the gospel, and the truth. That's an acceptable offering, man.
Yeah, let them sacrifice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lord own everything anyway, so there's no point in trying to bribe him with what he already owns.
And the money not even real.
Yeah.
You trying to
Fake money.
offer, make a negotiation or bargain with the law with fake money,
Fiat.
fiat currency.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you got, I think it was the pastor or something in a church. They were trying to buy a plot of land in heaven. Bro.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. That's what they think. I ain't gonna say
It's
that.
madness. I ain't like I'm wise.
You wanna do?
It's madness.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You got something now?
yeah.
Go ahead. Bro.
That was something. Oops.
This is First Timothy chapter 6, verse 17. Charge them that are rich in this world that they be not high-minded nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God who giveth us richly all things to enjoy.
Okay.
You got it.
Yeah, God. We're supposed to, you're not supposed to, it says to be it says to not trust in uncertain riches. You know, these people, they trust in this world, they trust in the system, which is gonna really lead to their downfall at the end of the day.
Down. Yeah, it's uncertain. You know.
Yeah, it tell you in the scriptures in that day they gonna cast their they gold and they silver in the street.
No,
So that's not gonna be able to help you in that day.
no,
Got it.
yeah. You got yours.
God, this is First John 2 and 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Oh, you want to read some more?
Verse 16, for all that are in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but of the world.
Yeah.
And I brought that out just for those people who think, you know what, I don't really want to deal with the Lord. I rather deal with making this money or following after things of the world. It's just gonna end up leading you to your death anyway. So it's basically just let it go.
Yeah. It's basically, you know, again, you are expressing the side that you're on. You know, read that first verse again.
Come, verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Yeah. So any man that love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. All right. Plain and simple. Nothing even really break down in it.
It was a precept back in the brothers from earlier. It paid. I'll bring it up. That's the book of First Peter. I'm gonna start at 3. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, which according to his abundant mercy hath begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahweh Shai Mashiach from the dead. It's the point. To an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that faded not away, reserved in heaven for you. The point is, you know, our inheritance is incorruptible. You know, the brothers was talking about how they had pastors trying to buy land in heaven, you know, our these corruptible pastors and stuff like that, just taking money and stuff like that. Our inheritance is incorruptible.
Yes, Samuel. Yeah.
Yeah, this is 1 Samuel 15 and verse 22, and it says, and Samuel said, have the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord. Behold, To obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams.
So what brother was going into earlier, which you mentioned it in a certain way, as a guy, offering for offering.
Yeah, you're approaching the Lord's offer with an offering, right? He's offering you salvation, right? The kingdom of heaven, immortality, and you're offering him money. You know what I'm saying? That's unacceptable.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, but what the Lord is telling you is acceptable, is obedience.
Mhm.
Just listen. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. The Lord has given us the book and the spirit, for the keys of our salvation. All right. If you follow these step by step, play by play, you're gonna receive your crown. Plain and simple. It doesn't say anything about getting this amount of money. Once you get this amount of money, now you're going to be safe for this amount of time. Nah, the more that you plant yourself in this world, we've been bringing out, is the more that you're going to get destroyed. You know,
one more verse to go along with that.
you got it.
This is in verse 23. It says, "For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft,
Mhm.
and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord.
Mhm.
He have also rejected thee from being king."
Come. So read that and stop at the rebellion and then the stubbornness.
Okay, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
All right. So you commit sin first and foremost. With the rebellion. This is considered rebellion if you're not going with the ways of Yahweh Shemel Shah. You're trying to go against the ways of Yahweh Shemel Shah. So now you consider a rebel, and now you consider an enemy.
Right, the Lord giving you the ultimate penalty
Yeah.
because the Lord told you, "I suffer not a wish to live."
Right.
So the instant, as soon as you go against the word, is death.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. You're a rebel. Okay, go ahead.
and it says, "And stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry."
So being stubborn, which we know that's the story of Israel, being stubborn, all right, being stiff necked, all right. And the Lord even brought out examples of an ass and an ox being more loyal to their owner than his goddamn people,
The ox word is owner, and the ass is master's crib.
Con.
Yep, but my people,
Like I said, and both of those are two stubborn ass
the
people.
most stubborn as animals.
And Israel worse than them.
Con. But what it said about the stubbornness, read that one more time.
And it says, "And stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry."
So again, it's giving you another equivalent to the sin that you commit by being stubborn and being rebellious. All right. All you have to do is hearken unto the Lord, man. The Lord is a man and a power that cannot lie. All right.
And if I can make a point, you can read that last part you just said. And stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Yeah, that's why the Lord had to take us sacrificing, these animals to the altar all the time, right? Because it was just building iniquity upon us,
Right.
right? Because Jacob have a sacrifice set up just to go do evil. Right? That's why I said in the with the verse 22, to obey is better than sacrificing. Why? Because you have to transgress the Lord in order to make the sacrifice. Right? He rather you just be obeyed just to obey the first time,
Yeah.
And to listen than to be, stubborn or rebellious, because it'll just build iniquity upon you. But you got it, bro.
Yeah,
you
good.
always think.
I would say,
The first time, but you got it.
I would say too, it's a thing of it's a righteous sacrifice.
Yeah.
It's an unjust sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? You got it.
Yeah. And just the stiff neck of our people, man. The Lord had to put these things in place because niggas has constantly been going off this type of way.
Yeah.
Choosing, again, brother brought it out earlier, but always choosing other things over the Lord. All right. And the Lord is telling you, man, this is the last go round. You pick your side, who you want to deal with. You're gonna serve me. They got enough. That's what in Joshua, right?
That's me and my house. We should serve love.
Yeah, but it
That's
means to something else when it talks about serving the gods. Serving other.
Okay.
Yeah, bring it.
I think it's in 10.
That's better than holding the precept.
Hey, cool, man.
This is in case y'all-
This is Joshua chapter 24, verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye shall serve. Ye will serve. whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, Yahweh.
God, for me and my house, we serve the Lord. And, you know, I can speak for every single one of, you know, you believe it's the Yahweh Shah. You know, we pray that the Lord doesn't take the spirit away from us in these times, you know, that we may continue to work, you know, receive our crowns at the end. You know, that's the only positive thing that could come out of this hellhole, man, is serving the Lord. Right. And the Lord, again, I mentioned is a power, is a power that cannot lie. All right. So if you got somebody that has a track record of, you know, the people that he has saved, you know, it also tell you in Sirach, whoever trusted in the Lord was confounded. All right. So it's no lose. You can't lose dealing with the Lord, man. You know. But we're gonna wrap the last precept and then we're gonna start wrapping it up. Y'all, we gonna start. Go ahead, off.
I got James 1:21. It's James 1:21. And it says, wherefore lay upon all filthiness and superfluity, arguments, and receive with meekness the engrafted word which is able to save your soul. This is in the NLT, and it says, so get rid of all the filth and evil in your lives, and humbly accept the word of the Most High has planted in your hearts, for it has the power to save you. And you know, all these things that you know the people doing in this world, all these wickedness, all these foolish things, you know, that doesn't have nothing to do with the truth. You know what I'm saying? It says lay upon all these things because you'll be able to save your soul. You know what I'm saying? With these words, these scriptures, you know what I said, this would be the things that would be able to help you, you know, get through the time that you're finna go into.
That's what we sacrificing to the Lord, man. We sacrificing that old man.
Yeah.
That old man. We was partaking in that wickedness, man. So now we're being used as a living sacrifice, man. We taking that old man, renewing ourselves, man, according to his word.
And those sacrifices of us, you know what I'm saying, putting off that old man, those are sacrifices worthy, you know, to the Lord, not those
acceptable, man.
Yeah, acceptable to the Lord.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What people doing, bro? They partaking in wickedness for nothing. Like you're not gaining nothing.
Not gaining
It
nothing,
may be
yeah.
like a temporary gratification, but other than that, you lose, bro.
Yeah, gain depth, man.
Facts.
Good shot. End it off on that.
Okay, come. It's 1 Corinthians 9:25. Every man that's striving for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they that do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
Read it one more time.
1 Corinthians 9:25. Every man that striving for mastery is temperate in all things. Now they that do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
You know, they that do it a corruptible crown, but we incorruptible. All right. So the things that we're chasing, you know, after the spirit, you know,
Y'all gotta flat though. Double stack over each other.
so I can read one more time.
This 1 Corinthians 9:25. Every man that's striving for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they that do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
So we're going for that incorruptible crown, man, that the Lord has promised. Okay. Anything, you know, chasing here in this world, that's vainglory, you know, pretty much going into that corruptible crown that is going to be overtaken by these missiles, you know. But continue on.
Verse 26. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air.
So we work with a purpose, man. You have to work with a purpose in order to receive that crown. All right, to receive your salvation at the end. All right. Again, the Lord has placed a glorious reward, you know, in front of us, you know, for us to work towards, you know, to emphasize you working with a purpose towards this reward. Okay, was that it on that? Yeah, you can finish it off.
It's 1 Corinthians 9:27. But I keep under my body and bringing it to subjection.
Mhm.
These that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway.
So keeping your body under subjection. All right. So pretty much, locking in with the Lord, man. Locking in and doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. All right. Serving your brother, serving the Lord, doing his work. All right. Keeping your body under subjection. Beating that old man, killing that old man. All right. Keeping that old man away, from what you're actually trying to prosper to, which is the kingdom. All right. We know that this flesh can't inherit the kingdom. All right. So we need to do everything in the best of our ability, to show the Lord that we are those faithful servants, But yeah, good. Everybody good? Bring it on.
It's the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, but when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord had promised to them that love him.
Huh? Yeah. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation. All right. So that temptation that we constantly, fight through day in and day out. All right. It's a reward at the end of the man. God, even the temptation that we were coming up against. All right. So, you can't be tempted, for this MOTB, once this thing is placed in front of all of us, you get past that battle, which is a major battle that the Lord is going to place in, here in this world, you're going to receive a great reward, man. You got it.
This is Revelation 3 and 10, and it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep you from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them and dwell upon the earth.
Got it.
Pretty much, for the men and the women, the elect who endure these troubling times, keep the word of his patience, he will be able to, protect you in those times. He'll keep you away from the hour of temptation, which is that MOTB.
You got it, Rashad. Bring it on.
It's John 17 and verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. And all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. And I brought that out just to say Yahushua is praying for us. So even in the time when MOTB is coming, he's praying for his election, who we hope we are.
It's like, you finished on it? Done. Let me get you. There we go.
That's the book of Revelations 22, verse 12. And behold, this Yahushua speaks too. Read that. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be.
In which that reward goes, twofold. Okay, the Lord is coming to give, the righteous men their reward, pretty much the salvation, their crowns, but also giving, you non-believers, that reward of destruction. All right. So again, it should be a no-brainer what side you want to be on, but the Lord has definitely put the spirit on, 2/3 of our people, to not comply. All right, for them to receive that reward of destruction. All right. Got the Isaiah.
This is Isaiah 40 and verse 10. And it says, behold, Yahweh power will come with strong hand, and his arm shall rule for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his works before him. Verse 11, it says, he shall feed his flock like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs with his arm and carry them in his bosom, and shall gently lead those that are with young.
Pretty much, lead those believers, man. So that reward, coming for those believers specifically. You want to, he said, you're going to carry in his bosom, pretty much carrying them close, And that's where you want to be. It tells you also, brothers, all used to always like to get strong towers.
That's the only Proverbs 18 and 10.
The con, Proverbs 18 and 10, the Lord is a strong tower. Probably get grabbed there.
I get it. Better
You wild.
This Proverbs 18 to 10. It says the name of the Lord Yahweh is a strong tower.
Mhm.
The righteous running into it and is safe.
Con, the righteous run into it, this thing. The righteous are running close to Yahweh Shemel Shai. That's how you're going to be saved. All right. That's how you're going to be saved. That's how you're going to be safe. And that's how you're going to receive that reward. You say you got something? Bring it out, brother. We just been bringing it up. Let the spirit go where it goes.
Yeah, it kind of goes to Revelation 22 about that whole reward, but it said, this is Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of all power and righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Starting off with, the plant, all right, that sprouts up. The roots has to be rooted in what? In seeking the Lord first, right? This truth, this ministry, this has to come first in order for us to receive any type of reward, all right? In order for Yahweh Shai to be satisfied with what we have done, this has to start first. It starts within us, man. You got it.
So you have something to lie?
This is this back this brother up. Colossians 2 in verse 6. And it says, and ye have therefore received a Mashiach Yahushai, the Lord, so walk ye in him, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. So you need to be what? Rooted, you can't be a seed that just falls on the stony ground, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, the roots, roots digs deep into the soil and makes it hard to be plucked up in the first place. That's the purpose, man. So in like manner, that's how we come within this truth.
But you got credit to also get the other parable with the built on the sand, the rock.
So I mean,
Come. You got that?
I got Mark.
Yeah, bring that, and then we're gonna bring out the other parable.
All right, this is the book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 14. It's the book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 14. It says, the sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. And these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, and so endure for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. You want to speak on it?
Yeah. So basically, by them being, this is a parable for people pretty much getting the truth, doing the works at the beginning, all right, but they're not sowed in the ground, rooted in the ground. They're not rooted in the ground completely. So when the times of trouble, what it mentions?
It says, so when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended.
So by them not being completely rooted in those, times of trouble or so, that's going to show how easy and quickly that they're going to fall out.
Right, but just like a tree or a plant, when you plant it in sand, it don't grow. It just wind or storm comes, it just totally uproots it. I got more too.
Yeah.
In verse 18, it says, and these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. And these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word, receive it, and bring forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60-fold, and some 100.
So those that's being, rooted in the good ground, pretty much, pretty much being rooted to Yahweh Bashim Al Shah, man, in the complete understanding. All right. That's what's going to lead to what it mentions again.
Bringing forth fruit.
Bringing forth fruit. Go down like a list of.
It says, and hear the word and receive it and bring forth fruit. Some 30-fold, 60-fold, and some 100.
And that could lead into the parable of multiplying your talent.
Yep.
So again, and it's crazy how the Lord can make all of these things, wrap around to each other, to have the understanding of being rooted in what is the result of being rooted in Yahweh Shema Shah.
Right, and that's what the whole deal with Yahweh Shai. So he's the soul, right? The spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. He's the one sowing the word, right? He's planting the seeds in our minds, right? And when it likens all of these things happening, all right, the deceitfulness of riches, right, the cares of the world, all these different things that start to go down and happen, right? That's why here at Great Millstone, all the brothers that's here can speak and tell you. We first coming in, brothers gonna tell you, look, hell, you gonna catch hell, man.
Yeah.
Brothers have testimonies of catching hell. You cross over that camp, you gonna catch hell.
Yeah.
You see, because what? Yahweh Shai, he said that.
Yeah.
Right? But when you endure, right, and you keep going, keep pushing, what happens? You start to bring forth that fruit. You see? And the Lord is ultimately what? Pleased with that. That's how you're gonna receive that reward in the end. Well, what? Bringing forth that fruit, man. You got it.
Also, brothers don't have to get it, but you just made me think about when it talks about how wisdom is going to try you at the beginning. At the beginning of this whole entire thing, you're going to be tested some way, somehow. For the Lord to know if He's going to deal with you, if He's going to continue to deal with you. Let me get that back real quick.
Book of Matthew chapter 7. We gonna start at 24. And the reason is therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him to a wise man which built his house upon a rock. Verse 25. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened to a foolish man which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it.
And it's crazy. They have a song from a group called Coldplay. Song called Viva la Vida. I don't know if brothers ever heard it, but so he speaks of the song is basically in the mindset of an Edomite, finding out that his kingdom is fallen. If you get into the spiritual aspect of the song, it's the mindset of the Edomite kingdom fallen. Esau Edom's kingdom fallen, and him finding out that his kingdom was built on a pillar of salt and a pillar of sand. Which we know what it just mentioned right here is not stable. All right, but if you build your foundation on that rock, when in times of trouble, that storm, whatever, anything comes that way, it's going to be completely safe because it has a strong foundation. All right.
And if I got add, in that song, he was basically, praying to God as he already fell from out of his power, that he was being hunted to being taken out, period, just in general. But he's not even in his power anymore. Right. The kingdom's already fell.
That's great. That's one of my favorite songs. Yeah. That was it on that, right?
Yeah, that was it.
On Matthew. You found that Corinthian?
I got it.
It wasn't Corinthian?
I got two of them.
Real quick.
This Ephesians chapter 2, verse 19. It says, "Now therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints in the household of our power, and are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Yahweh Shai Hamashiach himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto a holy temple in the Lord, in whom ye are also builded together for an habitation of our power through the Spirit." And which, it says, starting from verse 20, it says, we are built upon the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, right? Going back to the apostles of old, all the way, starting now in these times for Abba Bivens, all right, up and down to the youngest man now, all right, built upon that what? Same foundation, all right, which the foundation is the scriptures, man. All right, you can't build a solid house that can withstand storms, all right, tempests, tornadoes, all kinds of storms. You can't build a solid house unless the foundation is perfect. You see? And that's what the Lord is doing, has done with each man. Set a foundation. You see? It says, and Yahushua Hamashiach himself being the chief cornerstone, right? In which this house is built upon who? Yahushua, all right? Jake talking about you don't gotta glorify Yahushua, you don't want to worship Yahushua. Well, without Yahushua, none of this would be possible, man. You see? Go ahead.
Just to back you up, you can't even talk to the Most High without Yahweh Shai.
Exactly.
Where you even come?
Exactly. It says in verse 21, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto a holy temple. All right, in which I got the other one in Peter's, but it says in whom the building fitly framed together, meaning each man, all right, coming in his own order, what has a certain duty in the building, man. All right, it's fitly framed together, it's perfectly fitting, man. All right, and then 144,000, everything is going to fit perfectly. You see? Want to say something?
Now you pretty much making a point. There was something you said that I wanted to. It's another one I'm looking for, and it was either Wisdom of Solomon or Sirach when it talks about that the stability of the household of a building. It's a certain word I gotta look for. But if brother,
I'm gonna bring this word out with
Go ahead.
Cornerstone in the online etymology. It says a stone which lies at the corner of two walls and unites them. Right? And it says often the starting point of a building. Okay, so when you I forget what that scripture at. No, it's in the Old Testament, but it tell you that the Lord he is basically building back up the breaches, right, of the tabernacle of David. You see, which is what ultimately uniting them, right, through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Hey, when you close up the breaches, right, you what? Putting the sheetrock up in the house, right? You might have some wood that need to be replaced. You land the foundation, fixing the foundation. That's the Lord closing the breach, fixing the gap. There was a gap at first, right? But through the spirit of the love, we can return and the house become whole again. You see? But
I got one back.
you got it.
good.
This is First Timothy 2, and I started verse 5. It says, "For there is one power, one God, and one mediator between the Most High and men, the man Hamashiach Yahushua, who gave himself a who gave himself a ransom for all to be testified in due time." And when y'all go into speaking about closing the breaches, man, that cornerstone between the two walls, which that's Yahushua. He the mediator that brings everything together between us and Yahweh. It's through him that, like you say, bro, none of this would be possible. If Yahweh Shai and if he wasn't that ransom, for us. But you got it, bro.
You could grab that for me. Sirach 22.
Yeah, it's the book of Sirach, chapter 22 and 16. And it says, as timber girt and bound together in a building cannot be loosed with shaking, so the heart that is established and advised counsel shall fear at no time. Slide.
Read 17.
It says, a heart settled upon a thought of understanding is a fair plastering on the wall of a gallery.
In the GNT, it says, Sirach 22:16, a wooden beam can be put into a building so firmly that an earthquake cannot shake it loose. A person can be trained to use reason and good sense so well that he keeps his head when a crisis comes. All right. But that wooden beam, being that important a part of the building that it mentioned, when it comes to that shaking of an earthquake or so, everything was to happen. But if you was to have that stability, which that stability of having the spirit and trusting to Yahweh Shem Shai, you know, you're gonna have that understanding, you know, pretty much what's going on around you at all times. You know, it's really nothing to fear, you know, once that house is fairly put together, as I said, 27,
17. Yeah,
that,
let me go
that
down.
fair plaster.
Let me go down to verse 18. All right. It says, Pales set on a high place will never stand against the wind.
Mhm.
So a fearful heart in the imagination of a fool cannot stand against any fears.
Con.
And
So-
pales are just, beams or poles. It's the same thing.
Con. Yep. Again, it's showing you, you know, without that stability, you know, that's where the fear is going to set in. All right. If you don't have any type of stability of what's going on around you, you know, which we always bring it out in Isaiah, you know, the wisdom knowledge to be the stability of our times, of thy time. You know, that's having the truth, man. You know, having Yahweh Shem Shai, you know. But
Yeah, it's kind of backing those brothers up with the the house, having those breaches in as much as holes. Okay, this is 1 Peter 2 and verse 5. It says, "Ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house." Okay, and it says, "In holy priesthood to offer up sacrifice, like spiritual sacrifices acceptable unto God by Yahweh Shah Mashiach." So the Lord, is the author of what? Everything that we do, right? He's the foundation, which is going to say in the next verse. But he's also, built us what? As stones to fill in the gaps of this house, man. Right? And that's how we're coming, man. The spirit gives us life, okay? And it says, "Wherefore also it is contained in the scripture, Behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone," right? This is Yahweh Shai. It says, "Elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded." We're not confused, man. We know exactly what we're talking about, and we're fully convinced on what we're saying too. And it says, "Unto you, therefore, which believe, he is precious," right? And starting with the elders and apostles, like Great Millstone on down, we the ones that believe, right? And it says, "But unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallow, the same is made the head of the corner," right? So they was disallowed, meaning rejected, man. You know what I'm saying? The Pharisees, the scribes, right? And even different camps now, they reject the Lord, man. That's why the brother was talking about something Kalaya said earlier, but it brought me into them rejecting basically the book of Hebrews, because when you read the book of Hebrews, it's all about
I'll tell you about.
yeah, kind of, you know what I'm saying? So, the book of Hebrews is all about Yahushua, so you try to take that aspect out and run with a crazy doctrine, so to speak. I got one more verse, and it says, "And a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed." Right, so they was given a lot to actually fall and stumble at the word. That's why it says in the book of Isaiah, it says the precepts would be basically backwards to them. You know what I'm saying? Which means they would just basically fall at the understanding of what they're even talking about. But you gotta
Bring it up.
This is Romans 14 and 5. And it says, "One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteeming every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind."
Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. All right. So being fully persuaded, we believe this is the 144% truth, that's been given through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, taught down from our elders and apostles,
Yeah, I got a precept too, but I would go lamb back on what you said. Just like my brothers ain't gotta get it. Y'all know it's my favorite one. And what's in the Solomon 18 to tell you that fear is a betrayal of your succor. All right, so what I'm about to read, you got a mosquito, sucking brain juice. This 1 John chapter 2 and 20, and it says, "But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things," all right, which that unction is the eye salve, that oil in which the Lord has bestowed upon us to get us through these times, right? That's what we've been hitting at like this whole time. Okay, and when you look at the things that's coming out of the pipeline, right? People not knowing when they're gonna eat, people not knowing where they're gonna live, right? They don't know, where they gonna get their next income, things like that. But the Lord has given us the understanding to know where we're gonna get ours from, right? So just laying back and on what this brother was going into, man. The Lord has given us everything we need. Therefore, we shouldn't have fear. All right. In the ancient world, the apostles and different, brothers didn't have fear. Okay. Because they understood what was supposed to happen. We know these things gonna happen. All right. Confusion is the basically the byproduct of not knowing something, man. All right. And therefore, fear creeps in. But y'all got it, bro. You got it.
That's a beautiful point that you made. The fear of unknown.
Right.
All right. And that's what we were speaking about earlier, pretty much why people are trusting more into Esau Edom,
Right.
his philosophies, his world, his kingdom, because they don't truly believe and understand what the Lord's coming back to do. All right. So that's easy for them to lean towards Esau Edom because they see that this power that he has. They see these devices that he's coming out to help, quote unquote, help, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
But that just go to show you, how, nobody can make themselves chosen. You can't do none of that because at one point in time we were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. But the Lord had to, wipe your eyes, okay, and give you that all in order for you to, you got to be basically chosen from the foundations of the earth, man, to get that. Right. And when you was going into it earlier about the sword, the parable about the sword, I wanted to make this point, but it escaped me. All of your Yahweh Hashem Yahushua seeds, they gonna find root. It ain't gonna be none of them that fall by the wayside, man. Absolutely. The Lord, all the elect will make it. All the 144,000, all the innumerable multitude, they're gonna make it. But go ahead,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
This is Matthew 6 and verse 25. It says, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment? Verse 26, it says, behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not. It says, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they?
So, and again, it's beautiful how we always speak about it of how the Lord made sure that he covers all angles. He's going to destroy, these certain amount of people. He's going to protect these certain amount of people. But these people that he's going to protect, hey, think about this. Look who did this. He's going to give you a track record and he's going to show you examples of, what happened to the people, that believed in him and what happened to the people that didn't believe him. Okay. But he speaks on the fowls of the air, the birds. All right. So we got the birds that wake up early in the morning, getting their worms, getting their feast. They wake up off of impulse and, do all the things that the Lord has appointed them to do. How much more the men of the Lord, his chosen men, Lord willing, we be of that number. The men that were at the beginning, the Alahayim, that helped the Lord create this entire world. Why would you not think that he's going to protect them and save them in a time of trouble?
Right. And I just wanted to add to what you were saying, because you mentioned the worms. Now the worms, they're buried where? They're in the soil, right? But the law that has the dew come, which softens up the soil, so they come up. Right. They basically get uprooted. But as they're coming up, right, the birds are coming down to eat them, so they have something to eat for the day. So everything, like you said, is working in what? Full cycle.
Yeah. Get that Timothy for me.
I got it. It's 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God had not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
You finish.
Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me his prisoner, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of God.
So we know whatever is coming, it's an obstacle that we know that we can overcome. You know, roughly paraphrasing what it mentions in Corinthians. You know, that the Lord is not going to put nothing, pretty much roughly paraphrasing, that we cannot handle. Okay, but read that just beginning part again. Not the
Verse 7. This is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God had not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
Of a sound mind. All right. So these scriptures gives us a sound mind, because you know one thing that people constantly look for, you know, believe it or not, you know, and if you don't think that you're one of them, you know, this is something that you constantly look for. That's reassurance. All right. Jake needs to be reassured, you know, from time to time, to know that, hey, you're doing the right thing. All right. That's a motivator for brothers to keep on pushing, to keep pushing. All right. We know that we're not going to get our reward immediately, but to be reassured that we're constantly doing the right thing, and having the receipts in these scriptures to see that we're doing the right thing, and the examples of people doing the right thing before us, and seeing, you know, the end result of them, is something that's definitely boosts a lot of people's spirits. You know,
The men of the Lord's spirits.
the men of the Lord's spirits. Come on, you got it.
These scriptures is the faith booster, you know, and reassure us. I'm bring out the book of Psalms, chapter 121. I'll start at verse 1. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. You know, so you know the Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, is the keeper of Israel. And these scriptures are going to reassure us in those times of temptation or whatever we're going through. This our reassurance.
Come. That was it on it.
That was it.
Got the
This is the book of Psalm 37 and 3.
Mhm.
Trust in Yahweh and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed.
Mhm.
Delight thyself also in Yahweh, and he shall give thee the desire of thine heart.
Yeah.
Commit thy way unto Yahweh. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass.
Come. That's it. And you know, pretty much, you know, you can't fail, man. All right, the Lord is telling you that He's going to give you everything of your desire. All right, He's going to should dwell you in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. All right, commit thy way to the Lord, trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass. All right, it's no fail at dealing with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, man. All right,
Come. Oh, this come on, man. This Psalm 37 and 25. It says, I have been young and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. When you went into that, brought out that Psalm 37, you know, that just reminded me of this precept, all right? Because the Lord is not going to, you know, let the righteous be, you know, confounded or forsaken, right? He's going to always, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is going to always be that aid, that help, all right? In any time of trouble. Just like, who it was, that was the Maccabees brothers, all right? When they was putting the furnace, all right? And Yahweh Shah appeared, right? So how much more if he not? Yeah. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I always get them mixed up.
yeah.
But you want to say something?
Nah, just clean it up a little bit, because we know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But you know, the Maccabees pretty much were tortured. The Maccabees were tortured. And I can't say their name. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Yeah, they was the ones that was in the furnace, and the Lord appeared in there and, you know, protected them from the fire.
But what is one of his titles though? He called our comforter.
Gone.
Yep.
But you still, that was it? Or you want to?
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Gone. I got it. You got it.
Is Psalms chapter 34 and 7. Then I'm gonna jump down to 15. It says, "The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them."
Mhm.
Just showing you that, throughout these troubles that we're going through right now, right, day-to-day troubles, right, little sections of adversity in our in our walk. The Lord, he got angels, specific angels for every man of the Lord, bro. Jumping down to verse 15, it says, "The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry." And right now, what we doing? We crying out.
Yeah. You can't look at these two. Ezekiel 9:4. Crying. You got that?
I could get that, but I got a precept though.
I got a little bit more.
Can't get it in.
But now, we crying out now, but how much more when the ministry stop, right? When total collapse of the society. Once we, Jay really start needing shit for real, right? This is verse. You want to say something?
Yeah, no, you got it. Go ahead.
Come. This is verse 16. It says, "The face of the Lord is against them that do evil and cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth and delivereth them out of all their troubles. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart and save such as be of a contrite spirit." But the point was really in 17. Hey, the Lord will deliver us out of all our troubles. Lord willing, we are that number, man. You got it.
Because if you think about it this way, there's men that's right now, who still livable conditions, everything
Right.
is still pretty good, and we're still leaning on the Lord. Even when things are so called good. So it's going to be the Lord is going to think about this in a better way. That even when the times of trouble, oh, these are the people that's been leaning on. All right, not these people that's calling out into the Lord. Once somebody gets shot in the head, when shit hit the fan, which a lot of these people are gonna start going crazy about.
I just want to make this point because it tell you in Second Ezra, the 9th chapter, that the elect have been sealed from the very foundations of the earth. So every thing that we've been through and been saved out of was already written aforetime. Generations ago. So how much more the things that are in front of us, man? That's what makes it so scary too, and keep us pumping. With this truth. That way, in the future, we can continue to be on the right side of the Lord, man.
John,
You got it. Huh?
you got it. Then you got it. Jordan.
Oh,
Let him get it.
this is Sirach 2 and 10. Look at the generation of O and C. Did ever any trust in Yahweh and was confounded? Question mark. Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Question mark. Or whom did he ever despise that called upon his name? Question mark.
No one.
Verse 11. For Yahweh is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sin and saveth in the time of affliction. And that's the point. The Lord ain't gonna abandon his men, even in the time of our greatest affliction, which would be the MOTB. You got it right.
I wanted to tell you if you could have started at 6 or read on down.
Yeah, that's like that.
This is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 6. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way right and trust in him. Verse 7. Ye that fear Yahweh, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Verse 8. Ye that fear Yahweh, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Verse 9. Ye that fear Yahweh, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Continue.
You want to say something?
Yeah, and the more that we keep on trusting the Lord, the more we keep on putting our faith, towards him, he would direct our path. He wouldn't lead us wrong, he wouldn't lead us astray. You know what I'm saying? Everything that he's doing for us, he's doing it, for our own goodwill.
He's treating just as a father would treat his children. The Lord is chastening us, again, how it says in Hebrew, how he would do his children. But the reason of chastening, his brother's going to get
And when I was holding the Job, it said something about that too.
Yeah, the Job, the Job 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
Let me get it.
yeah, you got it. Good.
Yeah, this Job 5. This Job 5, I started verse 17. It says, Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High corrected. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty, for he maketh sore and bindeth up. He wounded, and his hands made whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee.
Keep going.
Yeah, it says verse 20. In famine he shall redeem thee from debt, and in war from the power of the sword. Yeah, I could it could
Go to 22.
kind of all right. Verse 22, it says, At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Gone. Read that first.
I'll read the point there.
Yeah.
Verse 19, he shall verse 17. Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High corrected, therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty, for he maketh sore and minded up. He wounded, and his hands be whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yeah, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee.
So that chastisement that we're going through right now, you know, that's very important because again, we have the Lord dealing with us. All right. That's how we can acknowledge, you know, the works that the Lord is doing. Because that chastisement, first of all, is not easy, you know, it's a bit draining in some ways, but it's beneficial, you know, once you overcome. And the Lord is, you know, for those men, he's going to give you the spirit to overcome them.
I tell you that though, and those chastening for the present time seems to be joyous. You
I
know,
think that's what it's in Hebrews, right? Yeah.
that's
Wasn't that?
in 12,
Isn't
Hebrews 12.
No, I don't think the movie.
Oh, yeah, it's in there. It's verse one.
Because that one go a little bit more deeper with the chastisement because it talks about your. You can go ahead.
You want me to start at verse 7? I mean, no, verse 6.
Start reading.
I'm not gonna look at it.
This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
Yeah.
Verse 7. If ye endure chastening, Yahweh Bashim shall dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? Question mark. Verse 8. But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons.
Gone. So again, what I was speaking of having that acknowledgement, all right, to know that you have somebody that's working for your betterment, all right, that's something that's really rare in this world that we live in. You know, a lot of people they pray for your downfall. You know, they really don't want to see you make it in any type of way. All right, they don't give you sound advice. You know, and if you're doing something wrong, they're not going to correct you when you're wrong. They're just going to let you continue to walk down that path of destruction and, you know, have you learn whatever, you know, you need to learn, you know, but they probably had the information to tell you, hey, don't go down this road. All right. But again, the Lord, you know, our Heavenly Father, all right, he's going to sit down and correct you if he's dealing with you and chastise you and correct you if you're doing something wrong because, hey, I need you to continue to do this work. I need you to continue to work down this path, you know, to salvation. I need you to help your brother. I need you to be able to you know, speak on these type of situations that you're going through for the next man that may need it, you know, down the path so we can keep this train moving. All right.
Yeah, right. Because if you got like a child, you know what I'm saying, and if he do something, he keep doing bad shit, and you don't whip his ass for it, he gonna keep doing the bad shit. That rod will correct. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord dealing us when we mess up, go off, or per se, Lord correct us at that moment. Like, look, you doing this wrong today. We feel it through the spirit and correct ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But one of the main parts of being a father is correcting and guiding your child in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You don't sit down and ignore, you know, your child when they're doing some stupid shit because what can happen? They can end up dying. They can end up doing something that's going to probably put them underneath the jail or so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but having that chastisement again of correcting you, you know, for you to continue to pursue, you know, greatness, which the Lord is come on, that's motivating in itself. The Lord is putting us through these, you know, troubling things, which is not really, you know, nothing too crazy. You know, it could be way worse in all our scenarios, you know, for greatness.
Yeah, I just had to
Con, con.
that word chastisement online etymology.
You still got more than this. You
Yeah,
gonna
yeah, I got just to back you up.
You can finish doing
No, okay, bring that word up.
Yeah, this that word chastisement in online etymology. It says pain and suffering inflicted for punishment and correction. You was mentioning, you know, how Yahweh Shemi Hawashai, as a father, he corrects us. And that correction, that's how he shows his love, right? He keeps us in straightly by, you know, that chastisement. And ultimately, love is the fulfilling of the law. He's correcting us in righteousness. Right, you got it.
Finish that Hebrews for me. Marcus. It's still more we gotta get out of that.
Verse 9.
Yeah, verse 9. Yeah. I got you.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 9. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence.
Like after that, go keep reading. You can talk.
And we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? Question mark.
Mhm.
Verse-
So like read now one more time.
Yeah.
It's like
This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 9. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in a subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? Question mark.
so our fleshly fathers, all right, we've all been chastised, you know. We didn't had belt put to ass before, you know, for our wrongdoings to correct us. And you know what, Jake, look at being adults now. We look back like, hey, I did some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I needed that. That ass whooping was needed for real. In the middle of it, you like, oh man, I hate you. I don't
Never say this.
I don't go through this no more. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Like, but again, you know what not to do now. But it tells you at the end, it says, shall we not much rather be in subjection to the Father of spirits and live? So now we're dealing on a whole nother upper echelon of dealings, you know, with the Heavenly Father, all right, who controls your spirit, all right? He can control, you know, what you're, you know, if you're going to be of the elect, if you're going to be, you know, just a regular Jake in the kingdom, so on and so forth. All right, from the beginning, he could have controlled if you was going to be a goddamn Edomite or not. You know, so it could have been completely worse, but this is the reference that we have to give to Yahweh Shemi Shad to the chastisement that he's given to us. But continue on.
Verse 10. For they verily for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness.
That we might be partakers of his holiness. All right, for our profit. All right, so it's nothing more profitable than partaking, you know, being heirs to the thrones with Yahweh Shemi Shad, man. Again, we spoke about it earlier, man. This is a once, you know, in a lifetime opportunity that's being placed in front of us. And this type of chastisement, just to receive this great goal, consider us blessed. You know, you can finish it off on 10. Oh, it's like on 11.
This verse 11. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised in mind.
It seems grievous, but nevertheless, afterward it yielded the peaceful fruit of righteousness. All right, unto them that are exercised thereby. All right, it's a reward after it, man. So you know, whatever it is, take this ass whooping and keep on pushing. It's great.
Right, because who enjoys ass whooping?
But
You know, who enjoys being chastised? You don't like it. You know, it don't feel good.
right,
That's not fun to go through,
Yep.
especially from the Father spirits.
right.
Who wants to go through that?
Yep.
But the Lord is bringing us through the ringer to what? Whip down that spirit, take that pride, withdraw pride from you, man.
That's the part you gonna appreciate.
Yeah. That's the part, like the brother said, beautiful. That's the part we appreciate. Because if the Lord don't do it, like I said, we gonna be as bastards, man. And and the Lord ain't really dealing with us. So by knowing that, all right, I'm going through the fire right now, that's good.
Yep.
That's good because what? I got a chance, I got a real shot at this thing, you know? What you got it?
You said you had something like. Can I take some? Grab here.
Romans 8 and 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not to be worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. So, I brought that out because that chastening is just like a trial period, man. All right, it has a beginning and it have an end. And right now, we can see like shit, we finna be to the end of the. And that made me think of that other precept that tell you better is the end of the day than the end thereof.
Yes.
But nevertheless, it's telling you that these things in which we going in are going through not to be compared to what we gonna become, man.
Right.
If I can say, it's almost like the metamorphosis of a butterfly, man. The fucking the caterpillar is ugly, it's just working and eating and shit, but like it's not to be compared to the butterfly itself, because it's it's magnificent, it's beautiful, so that's kind of like us, man.
Yeah, but it start off unappealing to the eye,
Right.
and then it turns into something glorious and beautiful. You'll never think that the butterfly come from a caterpillar.
Right.
I believe that process is called metamorphosis.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Spiritually going through a metamorphosis.
Basically dying because that caterpillar died. That butterfly,
Yeah.
like, whole
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I got that.
I had
Go
something.
ahead, write that down.
Taking the time.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Everybody,
he's always feel like it.
he said something. It's a lesson that brother just clicked.
Yeah, y'all mentioned something about the end. But this is this Psalm 37 and 37. It says, "Walk the perfect man, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace."
You got it, select.
Yeah, that's the beautiful part. That's the completion, right? Because our faith is being put on trial. We being tested, right? We being purified. But at the end of it, we're gonna be completed. We're gonna be at peace, perfect. You got it.
Oh, we can hit it off on now.
If I can, I don't know if it's loud, but I have one.
We about to get out of
We
here.
about to end it out, dog.
This is the last one, brother. So like,
It's 1 Corinthians 15 from verse 58. It says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain, Yahweh Shai.
so like, read it one more time, brother.
This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. It says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the works of Yahweh Shai. For
Yeah, steadfast, always abounding in
the works of Yahweh Shai.
Uh-huh.
For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in Yahweh Shai.
So none of this is vain, none of this is going to go in vain, the works that we're doing, trusting in Yahweh Shai. All right, we know the rewards that are to come. The Lord is reassuring us of the rewards that's going to come, and it's just up to us, to continue to pray and pray that the Lord keep His spirit on us, to keep our hands on the plow, man. All right, to continue to work. All right, because what it said at the end is that none of this is going to go in vain. All right, so I think that was it. I pray, to pray that this lesson was edifying. This camp. Like we pray that this camp was edifying. Trying to get out of here, we're going to give infinite honors and prayers unto double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, taught us the truth, preaching salutations to the hopefully elect, you Akim, you Aquas, and brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. In the Bible,
Why you kept the camera on?